You got this.
All right.
All right, there we go.
Hello, everybody. It's Danny and Wanda at Deep South Homestead, and we are getting things moved around.
All right.
Right.
Cover them icons up there before you hit you.
What, right here? Before I pop something?
Yeah, before you hit something else.
That I shouldn't?
Got it. There you go.
All right. I see people giving us little hearts and stuff already. All right.
Yeah.
So how is everybody doing? I got to be able to, I feel like I'm sitting too far back. I'm going to have to sit up so I can read this chat.
I'm about as far over as I can go.
Oh, so what you been doing this week? You want to tell them?
Oh, we have been busting our tail trying to make things happen this week.
Yeah.
It's been a busy, busy week.
We want to tell them to start whistling and get this out of the way.
Might as well. I got a phone call I made a phone call this past week to the hardware store to order some more material that I needed for a project. And the lady behind the line on the other end, she said, "Mr. Danny," she said, "I was on Sirius XM radio going home the other evening," which I meant she had to pay for it.
Yeah.
And she said, and across that radio came the words, "Well, there's a lady in Wiggins, Mississippi, Wanda King, who has a great candy corn collection." And she said, "Wait a minute, I know that woman. That's Mr. Danny's wife." And she said, "Man, that's awesome." She said, then she said, "Well, I don't know. It might not be so awesome." She said, "Y'all are so well known right now." And she said, "I don't know if you want to be any more known." And I said, "Well, that's a two-edged sword, really, but it is out there everywhere now." Ms. Wanda has
copies of the New York Times, y'all. Can they see what I'm? Okay, and Danny and I made the business page. Okay, I'm freaking out. It's in the business page. This is the story. And down at the bottom, it starts talking about my candy corn collection. And on page 5B, I think it said, let me find it, or B5. I'm dyslexic when it comes to that, but B5.
Yeah.
Can you get that to come loose? My fingers is tripping here. Then when you open it up, above the fold. Now we made above the fold. How about that? I told Danny, I said, we're above the fold.
Yeah.
In the business section of
the
New
New York Times. Wow.
We thought that was funny. Had a good time doing that.
We had a good time, yeah. First off, we thought it was a joke, but it ended up actually being real.
Yeah. So, all right, what else? Oh, we got a few things.
Oh, yeah, we got
week.
a few things. We actually got some things this week.
Hollis Morton, and what is the title of it? Seeds of Sustainability, How Electroculture and Community Gardens Overcame Oppression. All right. Hollis Morton. All right, we got a book. I haven't had time to even really look at it. It was still in the package. We've been running. We want to go ahead and talk about this?
Yeah. Let's go ahead. We're just going to get this right out of the way, guys, okay?
Yeah. Because it's pretty.
It's really, really pretty.
All right. You want to show them that one, and then we'll show what it's supposed to look like.
Some very dear friends of ours, Mr. Mickey from Hills Mill Homestead, right there in front of you guys, who just put up super awesome Deep South Homestead, sent us these really sharp-looking gifts. Now, this looks like walnut to me.
And Kathy's packaging them really pretty, guys.
Yes, she's packaging them really, really beautiful.
And it's got their wood-burned logo on it and everything.
Yeah, now, you're probably asking, what is this? Now, we have one put together right here, made out of poplar, if I'm correct.
This one's walnut.
Yeah.
And this one's poplar. Now you see their logos, because I read the instructions. The logos go together like this, and when you turn it around, your phone will sit on it, and it's a phone case, phone thing. So like when you're sitting doing selfies or you're watching a video or something, you don't want to have to hold it. It sits on your counter, or you're reading a recipe or whatever. So Mr. Mickey and Miss Kathy are selling these on their website, hillsmill.com. Then this one.
Talk about a talented group of people there now.
This one's beautiful.
Look at this one.
Now, again, Miss Kathy's doing some pretty work with all this fancy stuff hanging on here, but look at this.
This is like, it looks to me like walnut.
It's walnut.
Walnut cutting board. Look at this guy.
And the Hills Mill logo on it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And he ought to have some really fine little pieces of wood he can do this stuff.
Oh,
so they're going to be selling these on their website. And, of course, we got a few more rods, too.
Yep. We got some more rods. Electroculture rods, that is.
Yeah. All right, what else?
Okay.
I think I'm through my...
Are you through with all that?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
About done.
Well, it's getting to be the time of the year, guys, where we start getting ourselves ready for the spring garden. You know, I know it's fall, but we start amending our soil now. Now, we'll be having a video coming up this week about a couple of different things that we've amended. Some videos, the soil test kits that we done the video on. We got the results in from that, and whoa, was we shocked. Guys, you will be shocked when you see the results for this. I told Wanda, I said, never in my wildest dreams.
When I read it, we got it online. We hadn't got the paper copy yet.
Right.
But I printed it out for the video, and we were both very shocked. I'm like, wow, okay. And so the video will probably be Monday if nothing happens.
If nothing happens,
We're working on that. And then there'll be a sugarcane video, kind of a Q&A. Danny's going to answer some questions about sugarcane because it's that time of the year. And so we're going to have a little bit of a sugarcane video later in the week. This week I've been really, really slack. And that ain't because I was really busy. Danny's been the one busy.
I've been the one busy this week. But you know, when we got this soil test in, it blew our minds. Now, getting ready to do the spring garden, you have to do the spring garden now. If you've got to amend the soil to make it less acidic, you need it more alkaline, now is the time you do that. If you're going to be using some organic fertilizers in your garden, now is really the time to start putting those organic fertilizers in the garden because, like I've told you, organic fertilizers up front, you only get about 8 to 10% of that organic fertilizer that the plant can actually use. Over the next 4 months, it actually breaks down to where the plant can actually utilize it. So you want to start putting it in the soil now and through the month of November, so that by the time December, January, and February gets here, about March for most people, they're ready to put their seeds in the ground and the soil is ready to go. But now, if you don't have, I have several books here. You know, I have like a carrot manual here that I've wrote. Now is the time of the year for us to put our carrots in the ground. And we've done 1 container of carrots. We're getting ready here in the near future to do more, which will be a little bit behind for us. But at the same time, it's not too late. We're getting our onion ground ready. Y'all saw the video this past week where I tilled the ground if you watched. Now, probably this week, I will be amending the soil for the onions. And hopefully by next week sometime, Dixondale will have my onions in here to me because we had to get a late start on our onions this year because it's just been so hot and so dry it wasn't no need even trying to plant them.
And somebody said, has it rained? No.
No, it has not rained.
Not a drop of rain.
No, we're nothing but a dust bed.
Somebody asked, how can they win a soil test? We're going to be giving away something every Saturday night on our live streaming. In the future, there will be some more soil tests that we will be giving away. Tonight we have something we're giving away. And I shouldn't have said the word giveaway, I guess.
No, you should not have said that.
We're
going to bless someone.
YouTube's a little funky with that, with them bots. But anyway, the word giveaway won't show up in anything, but we're going to be blessing people. And last week, we blessed someone with the Country Living, Encyclopedia of Country Living by Carla Emery. This book is full of information. If you only own one book, I would say this would be it. Or the Reader's Digest.
Reader's Digest.
Complete edition, or so, what's it called?
If you hadn't said something, it would have come into my mind.
The Reader's Digest is a really good book, but I think Carla Emery's book has more information.
Yeah.
Both of them are really big books and stuff like that. And so today, I blessed Rhonda McAllister over on our Patreon channel. I had told our patrons to just keep commenting because we were going to be giving stuff away between now and Christmas. And so today I picked Rhonda McAllister over on Patreon to be the winner of one of these books, and we have one more to go.
We have another one to go. Somebody was asking about digging up sunchokes. I am of the persuasion, I always dig stuff up out of the ground. I don't leave it in the ground over winter. So I would, Ms. Lola, or Lola, I think it's Lola. Yeah, Lola be loved. Line up if I was you and store them. I just have better luck when I do that, because when you dig something up, it stops its growth process, and it actually has time to do what it's supposed to do for next year. Let's see here. Kelly Clark says, Danny, have you used biochar? We use biochar quite frequently when I'm gardening. As a matter of fact, a lot of our land just has biochar in it. So yes, we do use biochar. I do believe it's very necessary for the soil.
Okay, somebody said, well, I lost it. I was going to answer something. Back to Basics. That's the Reader's Digest.
Back to Basics. We actually have two of them in there. We have the older edition and we have the revised edition.
That was it. The Back to Basics from Reader's Digest is very nice. And this Encyclopedia of Country Living, I do believe Carla Emery has more information than the Back to Basics.
Reap What You Sow says, Miss Wanda, how do I send you Christmas ornaments?
P.O. Box
462.
Yeah, Wiggins, Mississippi.
39577.
Okay.
Mr. Danny, do you get freezes, or what was that? Do you get freezes in your greenhouse? I think is what it was asking.
Yes.
Yeah, we get freezes in the greenhouse. I mean, it gets pretty cold in there sometimes. But we've learned how to combat that without having to actually bring any kind of heat in there. We use a lot of thermal mass. Our black mineral tubs are black, and we water them while it's during the heat of the day, and that water gets warm in the tub. And then we put a blanket over everything with something to hold the blanket off of the plant that's under it. And then the heat rises up underneath that blanket and usually keeps stuff from freezing, even on some really, really, really cold days.
I'm looking back for something.
Oh, okay. I thought.
No, Lippy's sending me something. I'm looking back before I get too far, and I don't see.
Okay.
I don't see it. She's gonna have AC. What was AC Homestead? I think's what she put. AC Homestead. If you would send me a email at deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com. I don't see AC Homestead right now, but if you're still in here, send me your address. All right.
Okay. Let's see here.
Well, Jamie Robinson, You did catch us live tonight. She said she's from Chattanooga, and she said she couldn't seem to catch us live. You made it tonight. 7 Central, and it's usually, Central Time, 7 p.m. Central Time on Saturday night.
Corey says, Mr. Danny, do you have any deer processing tips? I want to do it myself this year instead of dropping it off at the butcher. Thank you. Yes, if you go over to Patreon.
I think they're still on Deep South too.
Are they still on Deep South, or did they pull them off?
I think they're still on Deep
I have
South
a deer
Homestead.
processing video. I show you actually 2 different videos. I show you how to actually completely skin, vesicrate the deer, and then I show you how to break it all down and process it and everything. It's in 2 separate videos, but it's on Deep South Homestead.
If they didn't
take it down, but if they did, it's over on Patreon.
Yeah. I believe I left it. If they didn't mess with it, I think I left it. I just don't remember.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, where are we at here? Is calcium nitrate good for growing collard greens? Florida homesteader. Calcium nitrate is good for growing collard greens. The only problem you have to watch out for is don't use too much of it. Because calcium, see, the leaves take up everything and then you're eating the leaves. If you put too much calcium nitrate in something, the leaves may, when you eat it and cook it, it might give you a little bit of an upset stomach. So make sure you don't overdo it. But a small amount is not going to hurt as long as you don't overdo it.
Okay, is it AC Homestead or ACM Homestead? Because I haven't seen them post anything, so I'm not sure yet. Have you guys ever had problems with radon in your home or water?
No. Most of the houses that have problem with radon is houses that are built on slabs. And we do not have anything on a slab. We have a monolithic type form up off the ground.
Ann wants to know, how do you become a winner? Mainly join our chats or comment on videos and stuff, because Danny and I, we used a randomizer for several years, and every time I tend to, when the randomizer picks somebody that's not a person or somebody that doesn't watch our videos.
There's ACM Homestead.
Okay, good. Okay, I see. And so Danny and I just started letting the Lord lead us, and when we see somebody in need or something, we see that we can bless somebody that's asked a lot of questions about something, that's who we bless. That's the way we pick winners now, is just how we feel. We look at each other and say, okay, what do you think?
Right.
And he'll have somebody in mind, I'll have somebody in mind, and usually if we have 2 or 3 people in mind, there's one in common, usually every time.
DW says, question, I got some of your corn seed. How long till it tassels after planting? Thank you. Well, that depends on a lot. It depends on the weather circumstances, to be honest with you. Depends on what kind of fertilizer you use, how much you use. My conditions, it's usually about a month to a month and a half after you plant it, it begins to tassel.
I forgot to say, ACM Homestead, you won the Country Living, the last one we had. They were supposed to have sent us 5. They only sent 3, so that was the last one that we did have. But there's going to be other things every Saturday night. And over on Patreon, if you're over there and you comment on videos and pictures and things that we put up, we just randomly pick people off and on to send something to.
Kim Jesh says, is it okay to put pine needles around my grapevines for winter? Kim, it's not going to hurt your grapevines at all. I mean, the only thing about pine needles is they make the soil a little bit more acidic, and it takes them a really, really, really long time to break down into organic matter. So if you're expecting something to break down into organic matter, don't expect it to happen fast. You'd have a better job with leaves than you would pine needles. But pine needles are perfectly fine. It's just that you have to put them on pretty deep, because when they get wet, they lay down flat on the ground, and a lot of air can pass through them because they really don't have a lot of surface on the ground to block air.
Okay, I'm having trouble seeing this tonight.
Mary Ruth says, will you write a book about growing corn, please?
Yeah, and you don't have to be on Patreon to win, because I just gave away something here, and we gave away things this past week, soil test on videos. So you have to watch our videos and comment, be on the live stream if you can. If you're on Patreon, you need to comment because we don't know how many people are out there. Well,
right.
we got a number, but we don't know who's actually paying attention and who's not on Patreon unless they comment. And so we like to interact. And Danny's had company all week.
I've had company all week. I've actually had 2 different individuals here. I've had Mr. Chris. Y'all seen Chris here quite often. He drives over from Louisiana.
He's been here 2 different days.
2 different days this week to come help us. We cut a lot of firewood this week. Well, we cut the trees. We didn't actually, where I had the timber pushed up around all the pecan orchard, Chris helped cut up a bunch of that firewood and the log links and get all the limbs off of them. And Mark, a friend of ours from Red Duchess Farms from Illinois, has been down here this week. Mark's been helping saw some firewood. Mark's been helping me work on the high tunnel. Chris has been helping me work on the high tunnel. Trying to get some of the stuff that I need help with, to get this thing. 'Cause this is a big one. This is not a little bitty one.
Plus, Mark helped Danny put in
freeze-proof faucets.
Yeah, freeze-proof by the well. And then what else y'all done? Something else. The wood. Yeah, they've been busy.
Yeah, we've been busy this week.
So.
And it's been cold.
Yeah, and I've been trying to be the keeper of the fire and the keeper of the food and stuff like that. So there hadn't been very many videos. All right, somebody, Miss Darlene Wright wants to know, can you freeze dry and powder okra for thickening and gravy? Yes.
Yes, you can.
All you got to do is freeze dry it. When it comes out of your freeze dryer, just powder it. Run it through a food processor, whatever, make powder and write filet on it, and same thing. It works fine and dandy.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Somebody said they harvested. Ed said he harvested his first sweet potatoes and have dried them for 2 weeks. Thanks they are turning out great. Yes.
Any tips for getting rid of grasshoppers? Well, there's one thing that gets rid of grasshoppers. It's just called plain old flour. Plain old flour that you cook with will get rid of grasshoppers, or it did for us. Let me put it that way.
What is the best way to skin a squirrel? That's a tongue twister.
Yeah, it's hard for me to sit here and tell you the best way.
We don't have a video on that.
No, we don't have a video on it. I've skinned a lot of different squirrels, but I mean,
when Carrie was here, I didn't do a video on that. I don't think.
No.
Danny's daughter was here 3 or 4 years ago, and her husband went squirrel hunting, and then they made her skin squirrels. Yeah. Which she already knew how, I think.
Raymond Bradley says, Danny, what is a freeze-proof faucet? He's evidently from the South, I can tell you that.
Because we didn't know about them either.
No, I knew about them.
We didn't have any.
We can't buy them local here. We have to order them. You can get them in 2-foot lengths, 3-foot lengths, 4-foot, 5-foot, 6-foot, depending on where you live at in the country. You have to dig the bottom of that faucet. It's a galvanized steel pipe sticking up. It's got a faucet on top of it with a handle that picks up and down, and it has a drain back valve in the bottom of it. So you dig a real deep hole in the ground. You put gravel down in the hole, and we didn't ever do a video on this, I don't reckon. But
yeah, we did last year over at the cabin.
Did we?
Yeah. Look up Deep South Homestead freeze-proof faucet. That should bring it up.
Might. I don't know, but anyway.
We can check.
Anyway, you do that, and when you push the handle back down on it, as long as a garden hose is not connected to it, the water drains out of the top of the pipe and goes back into the ground down there, into the rocks where the faucet drain system's actually at underground.
Frost-free.
Frost-free, yeah.
Might say frost-free, not freeze-free.
And that way you don't have to run around covering up all your faucets all winter.
Yeah. It might say frost-free faucet, outdoor faucet. I don't know how it's worded, and that might not even be the title. Who knows? Yeah. Firefly says we have issues with Asian lady beetles. How do we get rid of them? Cool. Well, it was getting warm. I get hot. He gets cold.
JS says, I'm looking at freeze dryers, but I might have to wait until after I buy a riding lawnmower. Well, they can be expensive.
Yeah. So we missing a lot of questions because it's going pretty fast, but I do see Carolyn Moore is saying she's looking up Jadam. The Jadam books is another great set of books that has some, if you're looking to make some of your own fertilizers out of simple things that you would have on hand, and a couple of things you might have to buy, but most things you can figure out ways to make some. And then one of the books is on different pests and shows you how to combat that. Frost-free hydrant. That might be
maybe
what
that's
it
how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, frost-free hydrant. I don't know. Lippy might find it. She might not. I don't remember, but I think we did a video, but it might have just been in another video. Who knows?
Okay.
So what else we got?
Let's see here.
Miss Charlotte says she's having problems with aphids and greenworms eating her collard tree. I've tried BT, but when it rains, it washes it off. I purchased neem
oil.
You have to be real careful with neem, not get it too thick. Yeah, Joe Mama, I know they put ads in the live stream now, and there's nothing I can do yet. I ain't figured out how to quit it.
Okay.
Stop.
Can Squatch says, is PEX better than PVC for plumbing and for mid-Missouri? PEX won't freeze and bust, but I can tell you this from experience. PEX leaves a funny taste in the water if you don't use it on a regular basis. If the water just sits in the line and doesn't get used for, like I say, a day or two, and then all of a sudden you use it, there is a little bit of an odd taste to the water. Now, chlorinated water might not be, but well water it is.
Miss Lippy and Miss Allison have put up the frost-free hydrants video. And we had a lot of people, Grower Solution is having a sale. So we did a video showing that we got our new greenhouse that goes over at Pecan Grove. It's 24 by 60.
Yeah, 24 by 60.
Yeah, from Grower Solution. And their sale started a couple of days ago, November 3rd through December 1st. And if you mention Deep South BF before you check out, you get $100 off your whatever you buy from them. And if you go over 2,500 subtotal, you get free shipping. And so a lot of people have asked about different types of high tunnels, low tunnels, quiescence, hobby greenhouses. They have irrigation. They have the soil test. Lots and lots of stuff over there, so y'all check that out. But we did a video on the high tunnel that we have and was talking about it, and we got a lot of questions, so Danny's he tries to answer some of them. He's going to try to answer a few of them. But the thing is, people were wanting to see the new one step by step.
Yeah.
We already have videos. There's a whole playlist called How to Build a High Tunnel. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we got
a pile of them.
And then we show how to grow in that same playlist things that we've grown for 3 years in a high tunnel. So if you're really interested in high tunnels and you don't know if you can do it, or you want to see how to build one, Danny shows step by step. Plus, we show how we grow, how we amend the soil. So we've already got those videos out there. We're not remaking those videos.
Deborah Wilkowski says, when to prune blueberry bushes and when in western Pennsylvania. Google is giving different answers. Blueberry bushes need to be pruned as soon as you pick the crop. Okay? As soon as the crop gets through, finish picking it, that's when you need to prune blueberries. Now, you can prune them back in the dead of winter, but you have to understand that you may not have as many blueberries the coming year because you won't have as much new growth on the tree for the berries to actually come on. So you can do it either way, but you lose some berries one way.
Angela, I do have videos on making Danny's dessert. It is a sweet potato dessert. I can't remember. Probably that may be the title or something like that. But look up sweet potato recipes Deep South Homestead, or sweet potatoes Deep South Homestead, or something like that, and you should find the sweet potato desserts. It's there somewhere.
Yeah, if
or
people
on
are,
Crazy Days.
different ones are asking about slug problems. Slug problems can be eliminated in a couple of different ways. You can get the copper coils from Mr. Mickey, Hills Mill Homestead. You can order them from him. Slugs hate copper. You can lay copper down in there, put those things in the ground around your plants, and the slugs will not come in there. Or you can put little lids. If you any kind of little plastic lids, you can fill them up with beer, the cheapest beer you can find, and put that in there, and it will get rid of the slugs. You know, just got to be kind of proactive with them things.
How can you tell when pomegranates are ripe, Deb? Mine, the outside of them would turn red. Unless you've got a white pomegranate, and then it's going to stay white. So I'm not sure. If Jen from the Nut House was in here, she would know. She grew them. I grew some, but mine turned red, and I just knew that they were the skin turned real, almost papery and stuff. So or leathery where it'd pull off.
Nadia says she has a rat in her tool shed. What can I use to get rid of it? Well, it just depends. I mean, there's a product that don't get the one that Walmart sells. It's called Ramix, Ramix. We go to a feed store and get it.
What color? It's a difference in the colors.
The one from Walmart's a green color. Don't get it because it won't work.
Yeah.
But you go to a feed store. There's a kind of a light cream color one, and it's rat poison inside. Something's got like a peanut butter taste to it, and they will actually eat it. But just don't put it where you've got any other animals that will get to it, like chickens or dogs or cats or anything like that. But that's what we use, and it works. Believe me, it works.
Okay, so Laura wants to know, what is the name of the sweet potato that the tubers grew right beneath the stem in a bunch? Was that the Evangelines last year?
The Evangelines do that, and the Beauregards do that.
I knew somebody. Rick says, "Don't you make a run on my Keystone Light." Talking about cheap beer a while ago. I figured Bud Light was going to pop up in the comments. I mean, that just popped in my mind. I'm like, I know somebody's going to say it. What is good to keep cats out of your garden? It's my neighbors. You don't want no Danny's. We just won't say.
You really don't
use your imagination.
You really don't want me to answer that.
If it's a total problem, yeah.
Yeah, if it's a really bad problem,
the person first.
I would go to the neighbor and ask them to please do something with their cats. But
I don't know if there's a deterrent for cats.
I don't think they are that I know of, other than
fencing or
eradication
something.
Or some kind of electric fencing or something other maybe.
How are the ponds?
Mine are about 6 foot low. He said our back ones are down to the static water level for the pond. They're about 7 to 8 foot low. Now at Pecan Grove, the one over there is not quite as low. It's only about 4 foot low. But all the running streams at Pecan Grove have dried up in the woods, and there's just dust in the bottom of them. So it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Everything here, and it's not just us. My daughter lives an hour and a half away, and they said her pond, even though they've got a lot more rain than us, their pond is really low. And everybody in this area that we've talked to, their ponds are low. The branches that are usually damp or wet or having running streams are all dry. I mean, we are really in a rough situation with water right now.
We're beginning to get a little bit concerned. I'm not going to lie to you. We have 2 facilities not far from us that pull out hundreds of thousands of gallons of water every day out of the ground. And
you wouldn't think about that till it starts not raining and everything's dry, but One of them is a huge nursery, and they use lots and lots of water to keep all those plants. And the other is a water facility that opened up this year, and he's pumping water out of the ground, sending it all over the nation. So
yeah,
our water table's kind of low. Somebody says they use vinegar to repel squirrels from raised beds. That was Reap What You Sow gardening. Hardware cloth kept cats out of the garden, 4 foot tall, kind of like a fence type thing.
Yeah.
But they can climb it and jump it.
Cat can climb it or jump it now if he wants to.
So, crushed red pepper flakes. Some people are saying that a hot pepper type thing, sprinkling around your plants and stuff.
Yeah.
If a cat goes to dig into it and they get that in their nose or something, or even on their paws, and then they go brushing themselves, they're going to lick their paws, it might detour them a little bit. I mean, I know it would me. I wouldn't want it. Let's see what else we got going on.
Here.
Cats don't like orange peels or coffee grounds. Good to know.
That's just really good to know.
We don't have them here, but we have them over at Pecan Grove. The neighbor there does have cats, but so far has not been a problem over there yet. They've not really seen that they've messed with anything, but the deer is going to be a problem this winter because of the lack of food.
Because of the lack of water,
and the lack of
both
food.
here and the lack of food, both here and at Pecan Grove, we're seeing a lot of deer. They're just coming out in the opening, which is something they don't normally do. And the turkeys are doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't know how our greens patch is going to survive with the deer fencing around it, because they've got into it twice. I don't think they can see it. And so I've got ribbon, and then I had to put a second row of ribbon, and they didn't go in that, but they went somewhere where I only had one row of ribbon and got caught and strung it out across the yard. So the deer fence is helping, but it's also not helping. They're not seeing it. So
April Lombardi says, how do I tell if a peach tree is dead and if it's not growing? I've only planted 3. Best way I just take a pocket knife and I reach up and I peel the bark back on it a little bit. If the bark has green underneath it, then the tree's still alive. But if it's just brown and there's no green in it anywhere, if I don't find any green, I just keep going down the tree, and if I don't find any green, I just pull it up out of the ground.
Natasha wants to know, will you hunt your own deer and turkey at Pecan Grove?
Yes. Yeah, I'll hunt my own deer and turkey there, yeah.
We're going to do a lot of videos and stuff. I mean, I could make videos. I just hadn't had time. We've got our cameras set up and lots of videos. The baby's growing over on Patreon, I think. I don't know that I put it on Deep South. I can't remember. But I know on Patreon they know that Mama had a baby, and it's growing really fast. I just hadn't done another video lately. And at one point we had 7 females standing in one of our food plots. No big bucks yet. None.
Yeah. I have seen 2 baby deer with spots on them so far. So I know there's 2 fawns over there. It's just
and one good-sized buck, but he's got what?
He's a big body buck, but he's got really small horns.
Yeah, he's not a big horned buck. He's just got little.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at.
The chat's jumping by here.
A lot of them are saying a dog would help with the cat.
Yeah.
If you have a dog that don't like cats, that's a good deterrent, and the neighbor would finally decide to keep their cat home if your dog is chasing their cat most of the time. So, all right, I'm trying to think what else.
I'm trying to think, do we have anything else that,
I can't remember.
I don't think we had anything else.
This week's been a blur for me. I didn't feel good the first of the week, and I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm trying to see where pictures are and see. I have to remind myself because I can look at the pictures and say, oh, yeah, we did this or we did that. I didn't take a whole lot of video, to be honest with you. Y'all planted sugarcane. Did we mention that?
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be one of the videos.
We got a video coming up. We planted
the
sugarcane this week. Me and Chris and Mark planted some at Pecan Grove because we got better soil over there. And we got to thinking, if we got some better soil over there, maybe if we put the sugarcane over there, it might do a little bit better. I don't know if that's going to actually be true because it's literally so dry that my tractor, when I went to dig the holes to plant it, almost wouldn't dig the holes. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but the bucket on the front of it just about would not.
But it's close to the pump, the well.
Yeah.
So we can wet that down and keep it wet and hopefully till we get some rain. And that's what they're finding with the high tunnel. It's so dry that Danny's going to have to stop at some point and start wetting everything down to just keep it before they continue on with the lot of it. Yes, a wagon wheel pattern. We have a video on sugarcane planted in a wagon wheel. We really like that. A lot better than planting it in rows.
Okay, Can's Quite says, will La Nina affect moisture deep south this year? Well, we're not in a La Nina, we're in an El Nino. And yes, it's going to affect the water this year. It depends on where you're at in the country as to how it will affect you. Some people in the country is going to get way more than what they want. Other people in the country is not going to get any. You know, so, and then some's going to get some very severe weather. And so the El Nino weather pattern is projected to last all the way into March and April of next year. That's the latest information I have.
All right, Amanda asked, what fruit trees do you recommend growing in large containers, and are they dwarf or standard?
We grow the dwarf peaches in containers.
And they did awesome.
They done fantastic. As a matter of fact, they bore peaches the very first year we put them in the pot. And those were the best peaches I think I have ever eaten. But now this year
they did not because they bloomed and we had that late hard freeze.
We moved them outside and put them in the ground. And then it come that late freeze and it actually got them.
Yeah. Citrus does really well. And most of our citrus are normal size. They just don't get real tall. And we've harvested lots and lots of citrus, and we've got a lot to harvest. A lot that's putting on little citrus that we're going to try to overwinter. And people want to know, where can they grow sugarcane right quick? What?
Oh, no. Can I grow sugarcane in my greenhouse?
Somebody asked in zone 6 and 7.
Zone 6 and 7, no, you cannot grow sugarcane. You're probably going to have to grow sorghum. Sugarcane is a warm crop. It's a tropical crop. It cannot take very, very cold weather.
Yeah, the Rose wants to know, how far north do you think you could grow sugarcane?
You could probably grow sugarcane up to North Alabama, maybe North Mississippi, but I wouldn't go any further north than that.
Yeah. Miss Joanne Cole, they're saying they're praying for her. I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, we need to remember her in prayers in a little bit. I missed, it flips and I just catch things off and on. Can you do a video on how you made the sweet potato chopper? I saw it in a past video, but I can't find it. I don't know. We showed it in something, and people asked all the time, and I have no clue which video that's in. And how to find it.
I don't know what the name of the video was. I know
because it was just in a video.
It was just used in a video. Probably was a sweet potato video. Because most of what we cut up...
Rutabagas. Was it rutabagas we did? See if there's a rutabaga video, and I showed chopping rutabagas.
Let's see.
Did we plant those last year or year before?
I think it's going to be sweet potatoes. I think it's going to be on a sweet potato video, to be honest.
No, it was something like rutabagas. I'm almost positive it was something different. That's why I couldn't find it, because it hit me. It was big round something, and I was chopping them, or either it had to have been like a big pumpkin or something. It was something big and round I was chopping. It wasn't sweet potatoes. I did do it in a sweet potato video, maybe that I was canning sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I was sitting here, I'm thinking we showed it.
It would have been about 2 years ago. Where do you get the dwarf peaches?
We got ours from Grower Solutions.
But they don't do those anymore.
But they don't do them anymore. I'm trying to think what the name of it was.
Alberta's the only one that's coming to my mind.
No. This was, it wasn't the Red Haven. It wasn't New Haven. It was Royal Empress.
That's it.
It was called a Royal Empress.
What is the best depth? Phyllis wants to know, what is the recommended best depth on raised garden beds?
2 foot. If you can get 2 foot of soil above the ground, you can grow just about anything. But please understand, the higher the bed, the more water it takes to keep it watered. So just
Stacy finally made it live. Hey Stacy. Double A, have you ever tanned any deer hides from your hunts?
No, I have scraped some of them before, and got all the tallow off and stuff like that, and I've scraped them and made different things from my deer hides, but I've never really tanned one to make it like leather or anything like that, and I have never done that.
It was rutabaga fries. Miss Allison's got it up, and Pam Sanders said it was a rutabaga. I did use it for sweet potatoes in one of the sweet potatoes too. Can you freeze dry cane syrup? No.
No, anything that sweet you can't.
Anything that's real sugary, like syrups and honey and stuff like that, you don't freeze dry. And anything that's really got a lot of oil in it, you don't freeze dry. Now you can cook something with oil, like in a cake, and then freeze dry the cake, but you don't cook something that's oil, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do we grow oregano? Yes.
Yes, we grow oregano. Oregano can be very invasive if you don't take care of it real well. But yes, you can grow oregano, and we do grow it.
One of the things we used to cut green onions too. That was the green onion thing.
I made Wanda a green onion chopper. That's what I'm gonna call it.
It's out of PVC and it's got slots, and you stick a whole big bundle of green onions in there, and then you chop down and then dump them out. Lippy used it when she was
Lippy
here.
said Lippy used it.
It was in a video. Lippy was here, so.
Yeah.
What does sorghum taste like? I don't know. I've never had sorghum.
Sorghum is a little bit stronger than cane syrup, but not as strong as molasses.
Terrence says your off-grid cabin video series has helped and inspired me to build a cabin up north in Mississippi. Just wanted to say thanks for your sharing. You're welcome.
You are more than welcome.
Awesome. Bertha says, I have some lemon trees in pots. How should I overwinter them? I'm in Alabama.
Well, it depends on if you're in North Alabama, Central Alabama, or South Alabama. The best way, if you've got a garage on your house or something other, is to bring them in the garage and put something over them, like a tarpaulin or something like that, or a blanket or something to this nature. If your garage is heated, then you don't have to do that. But if it's an unheated garage, then you need to cover it up with a tarp or a blanket or something and leave it there all winter. Just make sure you water it every so often. It should do fine.
There's the new granddad.
Huh?
The new granddad. Permapastures Farms.
Oh!
Billy and Michelle are grandparents.
Yes.
William and his wife had a little girl. And you're going to have to tell me the name, because it was a cute name, but I forgot. They sent me a picture. I got to see the baby. But Billy and Michelle popped in, so I know what they're doing. They're sitting rocking a baby while they're watching.
More than likely. Mr. Danny, have you had your eyes checked by a doctor yet? No, I have not left other than to go to work. I'm at work Seems like 24/7 now. But and this is only this is only like the first or second time I've been back to this house in a week. So yeah.
Why did a video pop up during a live stream? That YouTube now can put video ads in live streams. They did not do it before unless you signed up to do it or put it in yours, and we never have. But they will put them in afterward, like when we post it afterward, but never in a live stream. It would just be when you're watching it as a video.
Yeah.
And so
Riz Cahizo says, what color is your tractor? Well, it depends on which tractor it is. I have orange ones and I have red ones. So it just depends on which one.
It's according to which one he's on, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
Now, he likes Cub all day long.
I love my Cub tractor. I don't care. It's the red one.
On it or not, he likes his Cub.
like my Cub tractor. I like my Kubota too now.
June Clementine. That's what they named the baby. June Clementine. Clementine was unusual. That's old-fashioned
is a very
name.
old-fashioned name. There's actually a song about Clementine.
Yeah, I remember. What is it? Sing a piece of it, because I forgot.
I'm just sitting here. I'm trying to remember it. I'm sure some of these people will remember.
I know. That's why I remembered it, because I remember we sang it as a little kid. Something about Clementine. What's the safest way to send some corn seeds from the 1800s? Pam, you would just have to send them to P.O. Box 462, Wiggins, Mississippi, 39577. Just make sure you put them in a plastic bag and then in a good envelope, and make sure the envelope is taped real well, because I've sent some seeds in the last couple of months. And if you don't tape the envelope and it starts going through one of their machines, it'll rip it open and
people's got it. Away. Oh, my darling Clementine. Yep.
Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling. Oh, my darling Clementine.
We'll get ourselves pulled, won't we?
I know it, we will.
Over a dumb song.
I know it.
Oh, that's so funny. I knew that was the song we sang as a kid all the time. You were lost and gone forever. Oh, my darling. Clementine.
Yep.
In a cavern, in a canyon.
Yep.
That's it.
That's
Y'all know
it. See, that's what I'm telling
you. These people are as old as we are. If they weren't, I guarantee you William's sitting there going, we named our daughter that.
Yep.
He's going, oh my. No, I'm sure Billy's let William know that song for sure.
Yeah. Jennifer Ann Fox says, you have a good voice. I was a lead singer for a group. You know, I mean, yeah, I used to have a really good voice, but now my voice is not that well anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, so where are we at? Do we have any spaghetti squash recipes? Yes, look on either Crazy Days or Deep South Homestead. I don't remember. I've got recipes on both of them. One of the playlists is on Deep South is called Deep South Recipes. One of them's called What Is It Like to Eat at Deep South Homestead. One of them's called Gluten-Free Recipes at Deep South Homestead, and I'm sure spaghetti squash is in there somewhere.
There's one to read what you so says, do you still have that Belarus tractor? Yes, it's sitting right out in the front yard out here, and $800 will buy it.
Wonder what is your next big project?
Well,
to finish canning sweet potatoes. Y'all, that is like, and Mark brought me 2 big 5-gallon buckets of peppers, red, yellow, and green, and I got part of those in the freezer. I've got a few more to do. He brought me some tomatoes, so I had fresh tomatoes this week, and the rest of those went in the freezer.
Yo, Lord, Miss Kathy said, thank you for getting that
song stuck
in her head for the rest of the night.
She'll wake up in the middle of the night going, oh, my darling.
And, oh, my darling Mickey.
Do you like Christmas fruit cake with the nut things? I do.
Oh, I do, yeah.
I like the fruit cakes. I'm one of the odd ones. I also like candy corn. Hence,
Yep.
I ended up in the New York Times. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, put that up there.
My granny used to sing songs like that to me. That's Tambra. Let's see where we at.
Yep.
Does anyone know how Clementine was lost? Okay, Miss Allison, do you know?
Does anyone know how Clementine was lost? Oh, man.
Jennifer,
what's next in the smoker, Darlene Wright says? Whoo, well,
we gotta find some bacon.
We gotta get some bacon, now that's for
we
sure.
Having withdrawals.
We ain't had any smoked cheese in a while.
No,
we ain't had no smoked cheese in a while. We ain't had no bacon in a long time because we dadgum sure ain't eating this stuff out of the store. That stuff is nasty.
Let's see. Sing it again at the end.
Robin says I can. 36 pints of sweet potatoes. Way to go.
Carrie says that her husband loves the freeze-dried sweet potatoes. She sliced them and blanched them in a sweet cinnamon water. Yes, anything like that you want to go ahead and sweeten a little bit or put in seasoning on or whatever, and then throw in there. Danny's, when we ran out of fresh sweet potatoes, or when I ran out of canned sweet potatoes this summer, I had freeze-dried. I went ahead and boiled them in a sweet water, so they already had some sugar in them, and then I mashed them and I freeze-dried them and made them into a powder, and I made his dessert, and he said it was better than not having any.
Yeah. Glenn Green said, what is up with the cornmeal? You slacking? No, I haven't been home in over a month, and I haven't had time to actually work on it and get the little details worked out on it. And plus, it's been like 100 degrees here for the last 9 months, it seems like. But now it's actually cooling off some, and me and Miss Wanda here in the future are hoping to get this thing up and get it going and grinding our own cornmeal and stuff. Which it's just not big on our priority because we have a walk-in cooler, and our corn's in the walk-in cooler. We're not worried about it.
Yeah, I was asking today about putting some sweet potatoes in there, and corn and sweet potatoes and whatever else we got in the cooler don't stay at the same temperature. Some of them have to be colder, some of them don't need to be that cold. And I was like, oh, okay. What's in the cooler? And he said corn. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of corn in the cooler.
We're going to make some, but it's got to cool off some. And we're going to make syrup, but it's got to cool off some. And it needs to rain. If it doesn't rain, Danny doesn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, I can't cook sugar cane until we get a rain, because when I cook it, I use lighter, and the coal and the sparks just fly out of the top of that chimney. I'm talking about like crazy, and I can't afford to have a fire get started. We're under a burn ban right now.
Raw food writer, do I have a fried chicken recipe? I hate KFC. I don't know if I have a. I don't.
She may not have you a fried chicken recipe, but I can tell you how to fry chicken.
And it tastes better than KFC.
And I can tell you how KFC done it because I know the Colonel's secret.
And he can make some fine chicken. But now, I know I do have some chicken tenders in some of my videos. If you go look at What's It Like to Eat at Deep South Homestead or Deep South Homestead recipes or the gluten-free recipes, I use pecan meal. And Danny and Leslie Fox over at Tanner's Pecans, but they've changed it to Foxco something. They had the pecan meal.
Yeah.
And I would take I did deer.
Yeah, deer steaks were great in the pecan meal.
I did chicken tenders and things like that, and I coated them in the pecan meal and fried them. And oh my, if y'all ain't never had fried stuff in pecan meal, ask Dirt Patch Heaven. She was in.
Yep.
She loved it. Danny, I'm used to seeing you in a t-shirt, not 3 layers of blue jean clothes.
Yeah, I actually have a t-shirt on underneath this.
He just put this on because I turned the fan on.
She turned the fan on. Well, I've got to leave and go out again tonight, and I'll be out in the cold. So I go ahead and get my body acclimated to the warm in the house right now, and that way when I go out, I'll already be acclimated.
Yeah. Pecan meal is just simply pecans ground really, really fine.
Yeah.
If you have pecans and you have a food processor, you can make your own. That's actually how I made Danny's cookies most of the time, is I took pecans and just threw them over in the blender and minced them down 4 or 5 times, and then
Yeah.
added an egg and some sugar and...
Yeah, let me just give you a hint on one of Kentucky Fried Chicken's secrets there, because I worked for the man who was the main cook. I actually built a restaurant for the man who was the main cook for KFC.
Yeah, Lippy did one too that's similar, I think.
And what you do is when you dip your chicken in milk, and then you take it out of the milk, or buttermilk, now not just milk, but buttermilk. You dip it into buttermilk.
That's what Lippy did, yeah, buttermilk.
Take it out of buttermilk, put it in flour, roll it in flour, take it back out of the flour, dip it in ice water with the flour on it, take it out of the ice water and dip it back into the flour again, and then put it in a skillet with good hot grease, of a 350-degree grease, and let it cook. And I promise you, the crust and all will be crispy.
Okay, so Miss Darlene wants to know, can you use pecan shells to make a stain?
Not really. Walnuts are the best. Black walnuts are the best. Pecans really don't work that well.
Okay. When do I harvest horseradish?
Horseradish can be harvested in the fall.
Yeah.
Mine's
in the high tunnel, so I've just been watching mine. I'm gonna check it and see if it's doing. The leaves look okay. People are putting up prayer requests. I do see that. What does the water do to it? I think they're asking about.
Oh, the water causes the batter to actually bind to the chicken. There's a reaction that takes place there, the guy was telling me, that causes the batter to stick to the chicken and actually make it more crispy than it would be if you just use the buttermilk and the flour.
Read what you sow. The bellards is just sitting out there. There's no way to make a video of it. I mean, it's just sitting there, but I could take a picture of it, I guess, if I needed to. I just started milking my Dexter for the first time. That's Milk and Honey Heritage. Great.
I love to see people who get to milking their own cows and doing stuff like that. They, they become more self-sufficient. I mean, I like that.
You can make a walnut stain. We have walnuts at Pecan Grove.
Oh, yeah, you can make a walnut stain. Walnuts will stain you. If you pick them up on your hands whenever they start turning black, you are stained. If you get them against your clothes are stained.
All right, so Lita, L-I-T-A, wants to know, do you fertilize your pecan trees in the fall and spring, and do you use zinc fertilizer also?
I mainly fertilize mine only in the spring, because if we fertilize them in the fall and they happen to put on a lot of new growth, it's possible that a winter time could kill the new growth back, and you just wasted your fertilizer. I put all my fertilizer on in the spring, even the zinc. The zinc I spread out all the way to the outside edge of the limb span on the tree. I don't just put it in one spot. I sprinkle it on the ground. And don't ever go over 5 pounds per tree.
Danny's not leaving Deep South, at least not right now. He just has to leave off and on.
I have to leave off and on because I'm involved
we're getting a lot done. So.
I'm involved in a top secret mission.
Oh my goodness. I see several, a 37-year-old son in stage. I didn't catch what it was. Situation at work. Can you elaborate on keeping a flashlight by your bed on the ready? You mentioned that a week or so ago.
I mentioned that as a tip a couple of weeks ago. Technically, no, I cannot, because then I would be getting into trouble. So it's a piece of advice I'm just asking people to keep, because it was given to me by some very powerful people, and I would suggest that you would do the same thing also.
Okay, so
am I the new 007? They're actually looking for the new 007. I heard that on a radio while I was driving the other day, And people are, it is amazing how people get all wound up over
stupid stuff.
Over things like
candy corn.
Well, like who's going to be the next celebrity for candy corn? You know, I mean, not candy corn, for 007. You know, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, and people were actually calling into this radio station saying, oh, I like this one the best. And one called in and says, no, this was the best 007. I'm like, really? I'm like, people, are you that bad off that you have to argue over who's the best 007? You know, I mean, this was just nuts.
Yeah.
And today, I heard this. I was listening to a Christian radio station while I was driving today. And I heard this. They had a comedian on there. And the comedian said that the media platforms is now censoring him for telling jokes and for being funny because they're fact checking his stuff.
And it ain't true.
And he says, and it's just jokes, you know? And he says, and now they're starting to pull down some of his content.
We got another video pulled.
Yeah, we had another one pulled this week too. So I mean.
And then I saw there was a guy that does what I tell you, he does reaction videos. 818,000 subscribers, and they pulled his video for an old, pulled his monetization for an old video of some sort for some crazy reason. And y'all, it's happening all over the place.
Yeah, I mean,
Candy Corn 007, I like that.
There you go. But yeah, it's actually I wear overalls for YouTube. Okay, this is my YouTube get up. That's it. It's who I am on YouTube. It's not who I am, but it's who I am on YouTube. Yes, Carolyn Moore Smith says subs in the Gulf, not ours. That is correct. There are subs in the Gulf that do not belong to the United States. There's a lot going on. I mean, we got like 6 or 7 Chinese warships that's moved into the Middle East. Our warships backed out of a lot of places. I mean, you got to start wondering what's going on. Even parts of Israel is completely surrounded now. So, you know.
You better be watching what you say.
I know, I got to watch what I'm saying.
Hush. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before some of us are not on YouTube because they really are censoring so much. And it's not just YouTube. People say, go to this platform, go there. Every platform, if you are on the internet, if you use your phone, you're censored. If you're using your computer, you're censored. Even if you're not doing videos, you're talking to your neighbor about growing corn.
Yeah.
Certain words are flagged, have been flagged since the telephone came out. They've been flagging certain words and paying attention to who. I mean, all your phone calls are monitored. I don't know how you think you can talk to your friend in confidence over the phone and then not know that.
Double A says, speaking of 007, big flashlight or tiny powerful one? I would say tiny powerful one. You don't want to be carrying around anything really big in your hands. Trust me on that one. You want a tiny, powerful one.
Yeah.
Susie Q said, I saw the Sub Hunter today.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I got things.
The black flag has been raised. Actually, the gosh, I can't say that.
Never mind. It's time to pray.
I know, but trying to
figure out. Get in trouble.
I'm trying to figure out how I can word something.
And Pastor Scott is totally 100% right. The Bible tells us how it all plays out.
Yes, the Bible does. And if you read it all the way to the end, you'll know the end of the story, like Paul Harvey used to say. Now
you know the rest of the story.
There was a particular group of the alphabet in the government that made a comment this past week that said that we are now under a red flag warning in the United States. So if you can follow that riddle, you will kind of figure out what I said.
Scott Tovey said, YouTube gave me a 24-hour block because I said 2 + 2 = 4. That's the only reason I figured they didn't tell me what I said.
Well, 1 + 1 = 3, and then 2 + 2 = 4. So Those are good math numbers to remember.
They don't have to tell you exactly why.
No, they don't have to tell you why.
And then they leave you to figure it out. And the one we had pulled was one from a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years ago. And it wasn't on Deep South. It was on the channel that I used to post on Patreon. And it was a video that was on Patreon. And they said it was medical misinformation.
Yeah.
So whatever Danny said 2 years ago is not okay now. So they're going back, pulling things. So everybody that has a YouTube channel that's had it for more than a year, anything you said in the past is going to come back and haunt you. Just know that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. You want to have
Okay.
prayer?
I guess we need to have our prayer. And,
Yeah, Tambra says buy precious metals, brass.
yeah, lead and brass are some very precious metals to own now. I just bought, as a matter of fact, I just bought a whole store out on one particular thing, and it's those are what we call precious metals now, lead and brass. Okay, Pamela says neck and shoulder injuries.
Permapastor says his last 3 videos were demonetized.
They still ain't told him why.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you're walking a fine line now, and no matter what you say. I mean, even like this video, we could get off, and we had one live stream several years ago where I was talking about doTERRA, and I was a doTERRA representative at the time, and I made the mistake of saying you can use this for this. And doTERRA themselves contacted me and says you have to pull that video. And if I didn't, they were going to contact YouTube and have me pull it down because I was given medical information.
Yeah.
So you have to watch.
It.
And there's a lot of people out there doing that, and they're making videos every day telling you what's good for what. And eventually they will pull. It may take them a while, but YouTube has a way of weeding through. Lots of the bigger channels start going away. The medium channels are next, and the little channels are last lots of times.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we need to go ahead and pray. So, because tonight you got to set your clocks back if you're in a state that does that. Some states aren't doing it, but a lot of stuff is doing it. A lot of states is doing it. So, don't want to forget that tonight. We don't want to keep people up here because tonight you're going to lose
an hour.
You're going to lose an hour.
Yeah, y'all going to lose an hour. Y'all need to go to bed right now so y'all can have your extra hour of sleep.
Yeah. Okay. Father, we come to you tonight, Lord. Thank you once again for a wonderful live stream tonight. Thank you once again for great people showing up to chit-chat with. And Father, our prayer tonight was that we could be a blessing to the ones that was here tonight. And I know we didn't get to every question, but Father, I pray that the ones that asked questions that we couldn't get to or didn't see or whatever, you would help them find the answers to their questions. And then there's lots of people here tonight that's got a lot of physical issues, a lot of illnesses going on there, a lot of people, you know, with doctor problems and physical body problems going on. And Lord, you know, when it comes to stuff like that, we always want to turn to you first because you are the great physician. And we know that if we talk to you about it first, then we have the best doctor that the world the world even knows. Because you made us, Father. And when you made us, we were, as David said, we were fearfully and wonderfully made. So tonight I'm praying that everyone who asks prayer requests will get answers from their prayers, no matter what they are. But when you give them the answer, now sometimes the answer is not always good. Because I've seen some that people said, you know, some people had cancer for 5 years, and they've got it again, not doing good, and stuff like this. Father, I've walked that road. I know what that's like. And I also know that sometimes you don't get the answer you want. And that's a little disheartening sometimes, especially when you followed all the rules and all the laws and all the commands and everything, and you've done everything scripturally right, and yet you still have to suffer the loss of a loved one or a friend. And Father, that took me a while to get beyond that, but once I finally understood what it really was all about and realized that really they're not gone, we've just been separated for a little while. And if they know the Lord, we're going to be able to sit back down again. We're going to be able to sit by that river where it says that 12 different trees are planted and they're going to bear fruit from 12 different seasons and all this stuff, Lord. We're going to be able to sit down by that river and we're going to be able to talk and communicate and realize that we really wasn't separated with just a really short time. So thank you for loving us. Thank you for giving to us, Father. I pray for courage for everyone because, we're going to be facing some things here in the near future, especially 2024, and it's going to take a little bit of courage. People's going to have to learn how to saddle up and pick themselves up, and like Joshua said, we're to be of good courage. And Father, courage takes strength sometimes, but sometimes you just got to step out on faith. And I just pray that everybody will build their faith like I've told them in the past, and they'll be of good courage, and they'll be of good cheer. Because you know what? We know that laughter and cheer and a merry heart is actually really good for the soul. So, bless us, take care of us, grant us the desires of our hearts, but most of all, Father, tonight, forgive us where we've not been what we should be, and we've sinned against the kingdom of heaven now. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Okay.
They want you to sing again. You got to sing that song before you go off, just so they all got it in their head before you go off. You got to have a tip.
Oh, man, we got to have a tip for tonight. Let's see here.
Did you even think about it?
I always write stuff down in my tablet during the week. Let me see here.
Let me see let me see something.
No, these are phone numbers.
Yeah, New Holland. I don't think New Holland's a tip.
The 256 New Holland's not a tip.
Trees.
Yeah.
Is that a tip?
No, that was actually an invasive tree. I didn't want them on the property here.
Oh, you did. That's the type of tree you don't want.
I don't want, but it actually makes a great border. But I found out I don't want it because it's in an invasive tree. And see, I have to write all this stuff down.
Something to do with water.
Yeah.
And that was porch time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You got to have a tip.
You got to start. Okay, my tip for the week is start. Wanda and I talked about this today actually, and I was kind of surprised that she had brought this up because I wrote this down a little bit later, or a little bit earlier in the week. But you've got to do, and you've got to learn to start doing without. That's one thing that we as American people, we've become so used to having whatever we want when we want it, the way we want it. Like I made the comment before, if you wanted strawberries in the middle of December, you go get strawberries in the middle of December from Walmart. Mm-hmm. But you got to trust me on this one. You got to learn to start doing without certain things. We have become so accustomed to having our life and having our luxury here in America that, guys, in a moment's notice, that can go away. And if you don't believe me, just look at Israel, look at Gaza. I mean, look at all those places over there in the Middle East. The Ukraine, all these people. Look at these places, because that's coming to America. As a matter of fact, they're already here. They're already ready to work. They're already ready to do what they're ready to do. And I've told you all, if you're on a municipal water system, you better have yourself a way to get your water purified, because at any moment they can poison the water system and wipe out a whole city, or wipe out a whole subdivision, a whole neighborhood. That's why we won't get on that kind of water. We have our own well water. But it's not to say that they can't poison the groundwater. You know what I mean? So you've got to have a way to purify your water, but you got to get on top of things. You've got to do it. I mean, that's all there are to it. Start learning right now to do without some things.
Learn to eat in season. I've been trying CRAZY Days. A lot of my videos on CRAZY Days was about eat in season. What can you eat today? Can you walk outside and find something to eat? If you were starving to death, what can you eat out of your yard or the woods around you or your flower bed or whatever? And every time I did a video, probably 3/4 of the people says I have absolutely nothing in my yard I can eat. And that was sad. And I did this over and over the past few years. I'd walk outside and say, okay, I'm harvesting this today. What can you eat? And every time, almost everybody says, I have nothing in my yard to eat. And I'm like, put something there, whether it's onions or garlic or something.
This is what I'm finding to be very, very interesting here. Amanda Sieber says, that, I hope I pronounced that right, says Channel 2 Nashville shared tonight that 2024 the solar activity will increase big time and that EMP could knock out our power for months. I'm like, grand solar minimum.
Okay, somebody gave us a super chat too. So did you see who that was? Can you click on it?
Hang on.
Twisted
Ponies, thank you. Those people keep telling me I get an extra hour of sleep tonight. No.
You get an extra hour.
Yeah, you get an extra hour.
We said they lose one. They don't. They get an extra hour. We were wrong in that.
Okay.
That was what they're saying.
Okay.
You get, so if you want to stay up an extra hour.
If you want to stay up an extra hour tonight,
that's what we should have said.
You can. It won't change my life a bit because I'm still going to wake up at the same time.
It don't matter what time you go to
But it don't matter what time I go to bed. If I go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to wake up at 3 or 4. But I found it interesting that TV now on the news, they're already starting to talk about this. I told you guys that they're going to start telling you little by little what's actually going to happen. There is a planetary alignment that's going to take place in 2024 that is supposed to literally shake the earth like you've never seen before. The last time that happened was over 2,000 years ago in 79, between 70 and 79 AD. I don't remember what the exact year was, but it's when Rome destroyed the temple in Jerusalem, around 70 AD. That was the last time this alignment happened. And the reason that happens is because when this planetary alignment takes place, people's minds go wacko on them, and they begin to want to war with one another. And people will begin to want to have war. They want to cause war. So you got to be able to understand that the planets, the way they align, I'm having to watch every word I say. The way they align affects the mental stability of nations. The book by our friend Sasha Dobler, the scientist over in Sweden, called Solar History, explains a lot of that in the past and why it happens, how empires rise, how empires fall, and our federal Department of you-know-what also understands that, and the other countries of the world understand that. That's why everybody's ramping up right now. All the war scenes are all over, or theater scenes, should I say, are all over the news everywhere. Everybody's ramping up because they know when this planetary alignment takes place, everybody's going to be in the mood for war. And so they want to make sure that they're prepared as best as they can.
Yeah, most everybody's saying you fall back, you do gain an extra hour. We said lose, and that was wrong. You do gain. And they're saying their dogs, their chickens, their cows, their goats don't fall back.
Yeah.
When it gets daylight, they still calling you. I don't care if it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, they're going to still want to eat at the same time every morning.
Yeah.
Danny's does.
Mine does. My cows, they know exactly. It don't matter what time of the day is, I mean, and I'm going to give them, I got to give another tip, I guess. I'm going to give 2 tips tonight. Yes, Sandy's right. You definitely need to get your EMP shields. I mean, that is one thing.
We do have a link in the description.
We have a link in the description down below. Wanda and I believe in them because I've been inside the company. I've seen the details of it all. A lot of
we have them on the Rangers, the car,
the tractors,
the
trucks.
If something happened, we would not be driving them, but it would be a way to get home.
It would be a way to get home.
And if there was an emergency, it would be a way to try to get somewhere else. That it's not that you're going to be.
Yes, Janine Kenlin says this. They canceled the Marine Ball this year. I don't know if y'all know that, but they did cancel the Marine Ball this year. The Marines will not be singing like they normally do. There is a reason for that. I'm not going into it, but there is a reason for that. Tip number 2, be careful this holiday season about what you bring into your home. Because Wanda and I have become very concerned about this over the past couple of years or so. We get a lot of stuff in the mail. We get stuff, sent to us from different people and different things.
Different companies.
Different companies and stuff like that. We don't bring everything into our house because they can be spells cast upon things. When you bring certain literature into your home, Satan can come with that because Satan's looking for a tentacle into your home. He's looking for a way to get into your house. He can come through the internet. He can come through the television. He can come through the radio. He can come through the mailbox. He can come through the computer. He can come through a gift from a friend. He can come into your home in many, many different ways. And during the holiday season, people seem to forget that. So be very, very careful and be very mindful of what you bring into your home, because people always sit back and say, I'd never allow that kind of wickedness in my home. Will you? Stop and think.
Something so simple as you're at Walmart and you see something that they have on a display counter and you say, I've never seen that before, and you pick it up and you bring it home, and it could have some connotations behind it. Different. People don't think, even picking up different soaps, different things like that. It goes deeper than just toys and stuff like that.
Walt Disney, for instance, Disney movies. There's evil in a lot of these kids' Disney movies. It's just evil.
And people have these in their home all day long, sitting on their shelf, and the kids watch them. I mean, I was guilty. My kids watched Disney back in the day. A lot of people have videos that they've watched for years and years and years and never thought twice about it, and some of it has these things in it. Do you need to purge your house? Do you need to clean? It's a good thought nowadays to, if you're having something going on in your house and it's just repetitious and you can't seem, you need to sit and pray over everything in your house and see if there's something there that needs to go out that you did not see. There's a lot that people need to be paying attention to. Jean Blair, if a person cannot say Jesus Christ, stay away from them.
Yes, and see, Mr. Mickey was a Marine and from Hills Mill Homestead, and Mr. Mickey's right. He said, just know that the president can send Marines anywhere, anytime without approval from Congress.
Yeah.
And Marines are, if you can correct me, Mr. Mickey, if I'm not right in this, Marines are for the president's protection at all given times. So he has the authority to do that at any given moment.
And another thing is, it is election year.
Yes.
And all these election pamphlets and all these things, you don't ever know what one candidate or the other is about. Lots of times I pitch them, like when I go to the P.O. box, I get a lot of things. I pitch them in the garbage before I even leave the P.O. box. I don't even bring them to my house. And so I have to watch. And then when we get home, some of the same stuff's in there. So I'm just pitching it in the garbage and it goes right on out. You don't ever know with election year what kind of something is going on with some of that too.
Sheila D says, link for EMP shields. It's in the description below, Sheila. If you go in the description below this video, you will find the link for the EMP shields.
It's in all our videos, in the descriptions of our videos.
You can get them to go in your house. They come with a $10,000 standalone policy to cover things in the house. If lightning strikes your house, I mean, there's lots of different pluses for this.
Yeah. All right, so we got to get off of here. My legs are starting to tingle.
Yeah, Mickey says the nickname is the president's own. Yes. Guys, please pray for our men and women in uniform because it is fixing to get really, really bad. Now, I can't go into any kind of details about that, but I can tell you, remember, if you've watched me for any length of time, I told you here way, 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 way back to watch Israel and to watch Damascus. Because the day you see Damascus completely destroyed.
You have to watch what you say.
I know.
You fixing to get us pulled just because he keeps saying way too much. Y'all read between the lines. Read the Bible.
Read your Bible, what it has to say about Damascus. Google it.
Why do you have to tell them they can read their Bible?
They can read their Bible. I'm not even going to tell you where to go in the Bible. Just go Google. Go Google KJV and Damascus. Okay. I hope that it's still there. That Google will do that. They may not.
The EMP shields are easy to install. I installed the one on my car myself. I have video on it on Crazy Days. Danny shows how to hook it up to the house, to the tractor, to the generator, to the truck. We have several EMP shield videos showing how to put them on. If you're interested in that. Anytime y'all are interested in anything, type it in and put Deep South Homestead behind it, and if we have a video, it should
pop up. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I mean, you guys, I told y'all long way back to watch for this. I knew this day was coming because of some intel, but I didn't know the exact day or at what time in the future. I just know that right now, that little tiny country across the big pond over there is completely surrounded, and it's not looking good. We also know that the scripture tells us it will be trodden underfoot. So, watch.
That has to happen.
That has to happen.
As much as we hate that things have to happen, things have to happen here in the United States. They have to happen. You have to have your mind set that things aren't as hunky-dory as you think they are, and you're going to work tomorrow, and you're going to be working next week, and you're going to be working next year, and you're going to be working 10 years from now. Things could happen tomorrow, next week, 10 years from now. They could change drastically. And you have to set your mind on the Lord, and you need to know Jesus in your heart to get through this. That's all I can tell you. Y'all got it. You got to. Twisted Ponies, thank you.
Yes, you're concerned about the Eisenhower going through the Suez Canal just sitting duck. That's true. That's true.
It has to.
But that's our only link without going all the way down around South America.
All right, so we're starting to buffer.
Okay, we're buffering for a reason. We've said too much. Okay?
And if y'all don't see us anymore, I'm just saying. Crazy Days is still up as far as I know. And if we're not on Deep South and for some reason this one just disappears because we say too much.
Yeah, if Deep South goes away all of a sudden, go over to Crazy Days.
And if it goes away, I don't know what to tell you. I'll go on Miss Lippy's channel and I'll say, okay, y'all find me somewhere. All right. We ready to go? Okay,
we're ready to get off here, guys. Have a blessed night. Don't forget to set your clocks back. And know this. The Lord loves you. May not nobody else. I was going to keep telling myself, ain't nobody care about me. But I know God loves me and He loves you too. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.